No Alcaraz, no Arthur Fils, no Musetti, no Holger, no Draper. None of these players at Roland Garros. And if this is not a sign for tennis to really sit down and figure out the working conditions, the tennis schedule, or whatever it is, so the sport doesn't continue to drain these guys' bodies, then I don't know. And I was actually able to find some numbers. So I came across a snippet of this interview by Eric Cressy, and he interviewed Dr. Robbie Sikar, who does sports medicine research, and they were basically talking about the rise of injuries in tennis. So according to the snippet in my notes here, January to March, upper body injuries increased by 42% over the previous 7 years, including shoulders by 120. And basically the past 12 months, injuries have doubled. He also mentioned how retirements are up by 50%. And I'm so glad his numbers like this because I was so convinced this is going up like crazy. And he also said the re-injury rates has gone up. And this is why we shouldn't be too upset about Arthur Fils pulling out. He literally said at his press conference, listen, the mistake that I made last year was coming to Roland Garros knowing that I was not 100%, and look what that led to. Me missing out 8 months of tennis. I'm not doing that again. So speedy recovery to Fils will wait for you. Now, Dr. Robbie also emphasized how there's more injuries coming from the arm as lower body injuries have actually decreased. And funny enough, right before I saw that podcast snippet, I was actually lucky enough to see this article from the New York Times and The Athletic, thanks to one of my followers on Twitter, Stephen, who gifted the article on tennis players and what? Wrist injuries and how it's become a concern, the impact it has, and why it's becoming more of a problem today. And basically explains how players chasing speed and spins could play into it, and which is why you've had quite a few players complain about some balls at a lot of tournaments. Listen, the sport is a lot more competitive and a lot more physical today compared to years ago. And yet, a lot more changes need to be done to help these players. Having many top players, especially in the ATP, out of a Grand Slam at such a young age is actually very concerning. And most importantly, we don't want any of these players to deal with injuries that will affect their career and their life. So I really hope that they find a solution quick.